get a lot of things I'm requested to demonstrate or test or whatever, and I turn a lot of them down. But this I thought was going to be interesting, and it's actually turned out to be a pretty cool toy. And when I say toy, I mean a tool, and it's going to be quite useful. This is made by Seesii, and it has been provided to me to test and demonstrate. It's a self-leveling laser, and I'm going to demonstrate this coming up. Hi, I'm Roger. Welcome to the shop, and I've got a lot of the lights turned off in here so you can see a little bit of these laser lines. You can probably see them on my cabinets back here across the top of my drill press. Got a vertical line going on. This thing has got so many uses that I could see it having for anything from building walls, getting things plumb, maybe just even hanging pictures, putting up wallpaper. There's a whole lot of things this will do, and it has some really neat features on it. One of the neatest ones is it's self-leveling. So I've got this sitting on just a photo tripod right now. It's not exactly what I would use for a transit. Well, this isn't a transit, but for that type of leveling. But if I would pull this out of level, it will beep and re-level itself. And it re-levels. I let go, it'll take it back up, it'll self-level. I think that's pretty cool. Now I'm going to show you what all came with this, and then I'll show you a couple of the other operations of this. One of the things I wanted to do was do a little thing outside and how to shoot elevations with this, but the weather is absolutely horrible, so I'm not going to take this outside. Wish it was summertime, so I got a deck project coming up. So let me get some lights back on. I'll show you what all comes with this kit. It's pretty slick. Okay, so what do you get with this? Well, obviously you don't get the tripod. Actually that's a Manfrotto photo tripod, rather high-end one at that. But this has a 1/4-20 thread on the bottom of it. And should you happen to have a regular transit style tripod, it has an adapter that comes with it. Right here you can use to mount it to your regular tripod. And it comes with a bunch of different kinds of adapters here. If you've got something with 1/4-20 thread, you can clamp the bottom of this on. Comes with a little, this is kind of cool, little scissor jack table here if you can set it on. If you have it sitting on a table or something, you need to raise or lower it a little bit at a time. So this works pretty cool. It comes with this little tripod guy here. This also has the adapter on the bottom of it, and you can mount your laser to the top of this then it has a dial on the side, and you can actually rotate this. Hopefully you can see that. So you can rotate it to get it wherever you want it. It's got some little, well, they're not real sharp, but they're pointed feet. Wall bracket adapter. This guy here, this has got some stout magnets on it. So let's say you're doing some construction with steel studs, you have a steel beam or something, and you want to mount the laser to it. You got your 1/4-20 thread right here, it'll thread right onto it. This also has a dial here where you can change the angle of it. This way, you can move this in or out this way, and you can raise it up and down this way as you wish. So another little slick attachment. I don't know how much of a use I'll have for it, but there could always be an application. Of course, it comes with 2 batteries, comes with a charger, and I have one of the batteries on the charger over here right now. Wish I hadn't done that. And it comes with a case, pretty nice case here. It's got a foam insert. Everything fits inside here. And of course you get an instruction manual. So what else can you do with this? Well, safety-wise, obviously, don't look right at the laser beam. That's any laser, even if it's just somebody with a laser pointer, don't do that. I mean, there's a laser sitting right here on the table, and that's all shielded, and when I'm using that, I wear protective goggles because that has such high power. This has pretty decent power to it. It's got a 200-foot range. As I mentioned earlier, one of the things I wanted to do was take this outside and show how you could use it to level or shoot elevations to maybe level a deck, or maybe you're building a deck, or you're building something out there, and you've got several points, you want to get them all the same level. And I'll demonstrate that later on this spring or summer when the weather's nice. But right now the wind's blowing, and it's kind of a misty, freezy rain, nasty, snowy thing out there. I'm not going to go out in it, and I certainly don't want to take this out there in it. Okay, it also comes with a little remote right here. You can, of course, you got to turn it on the laser head itself. You can't turn it on with the, can't turn it on with this. You got to actually turn on the switch. Once you turn it on, it will beep until it gets itself self-leveled. And as I said, if you pull it out of level, it'll beep until it relevels itself. And it'll re-level itself there. I don't know if you can see the lines around the shop here or not. And so right now it's set for one horizontal line. You can also turn on a vertical line. Whoops, I hit the pulse. Well, you can make it pulse. I had my finger on the wrong button there. So let's go back, get a vertical line here. So there's a vertical line. Let's say you're hanging a picture and you want to get a perfectly square two directions, or you're building a wall and you want it this way, and you want it plumb this way. You can do both with this. If you need to shoot a line down along because you're going to erect a wall or something like that, you can shoot this in that room, in that area, and you'll have a perfectly straight line. You don't need to snap chalk lines or anything. So that's real handy there. If you're hanging wallpaper, for example, good way to get your horizontal and vertical lines. Incidentally, I've always heard that if a husband and wife tries to hang wallpaper together, that's a leading cause of divorce. I just let my wife do the wallpaper. I don't even get involved with it. Yeah. Anyway, getting back to this laser level here, then you can set up a second horizontal beam if you want to. If you need to place something in between 2 points, or you need to have 2 points, it's there if you want to use the same with the vertical. And you can turn off and cycle through them. Hopefully you can see these. And there again, if you want them to pulse, you can do that. And you can turn them all off, all with the remote. Okay, now what if you want your line to be at an angle? Well, if you turn this so that it's at an angle like this, and I'll turn a beam on here. Of course, it's going to go crazy here because it can't self-level when it's that far off. But if you push the bottom button on the remote for a long time, you can turn that off. Now you can set your angle, whatever angle you want. You can use a protractor or whatever you want there. I'm looking at my door over here in the shop. That's about a 45 right there. If you wanted a 45-degree angle and have a laser line to work on it, you could. And of course, if you want to have an X, got an X back here. So if you wanted something where like X marks the spot, got one back there on the shop cabinet door, and I'll show you a little better over here on the shop door. So there it is, X marks the spot. If you needed to do something like that, you could. This has a lot of different things you can do with it. Now, of course, when I say self-leveling, I mean within reason. I mean, you can't have this thing at 20 degrees off level and expect it to self-level. It should be within maybe 5 to 10 degrees of being perfectly level, and then it'll self-level itself. And it's got a little display on the back that shows your output and your battery life. And I'm still at 87%, and I've been playing with this for a long time, the fully charged battery. There again, every time I move it, it'll beep until it self-levels. Just to kind of point out another use for this, let's say you're putting down floor tile or laminate floor, and you want to get it square, and you want a square corner, and you want a straight line going 2 directions. Set this on the floor, get yourself squared up where you want to be, turn on the horizontal and the vertical, and you'll have your lines to lay out your floor. So what if you lost the remote? Yes, you can still use it. Horizontal line, vertical line, your pulse mode, it's all right here. These are little buttons you can just push. Well, no, I'm not going to be able to hold this level. But you can turn your lines and the different modes right there just by touching those buttons. course, again, this was given to me to test and demonstrate, which I'm kind of doing here in the limited way I can, because what I really wanted to do was outdoors, but that's not going to be practical. I've been waiting for a day and it's just not happening. So getting back to this, there'll be a link in the description of where to get one of these. It's a good low-cost laser level, and it has a multitude of different uses. And I was surprised at all the different attachments that came with this. Usually when you get a laser level, you get the laser level and maybe a tripod mount, and that's all you get. You know, things like this here, little scissor lift table for if you had this on the floor or whatever, and you just needed to raise or lower it a little bit. Perfect thing. Wall mount adapter here to steel, and all the other adapters and everything that come with it. And battery life, I was really surprised because I've been playing with this for well over an hour, probably pushing 2 hours, and using the battery just as it came right out of the case. I didn't even charge that one yet. And it had like 87, 88% life on it, and it still is up there in the 80s, and I've been having it on and all the beams on in different directions and trying to see what I can make it do and how bad I can make it beep. And so I think the battery life's going to be pretty good. The charger that comes with it is a little wall wart type charger here. Battery is like here. The question is, can you plug this onto the battery while it's on the laser? No, don't do that. It's not designed that way. You need to charge the batteries when it's off the laser. But with the life of them and how long it takes to charge, I think you'd be able to go all day and then some on 2 batteries, just alternating them when it finally did go down. So that's a pretty good thing there. Workmanship wise, I don't see anything here that is really flawed or cheap looking. Of course, this, other than the magnets, that's plastic. This is plastic. It's a combination of, oh, I think that's all aluminum there. Everything on that is aluminum. Of course, the wall bracket's aluminum. Case of this is plastic, but you know, there's a little bubble level on top too to kind of help you get close when you're first getting it set up. But otherwise, I think it's well made. And this base on here does rotate, by the way. If you need to, you get your thing set and you need to rotate it, you can do that. And you can do it with this other mount here. You could do it sitting in your little table. So there's lots of things you can do. It's very universal. There'll be a link in the description on where you can get one of these. So you can get them on Amazon. And as a disclosure, I do get a small commission on any of my links from any of my videos on Amazon things. I'm what's called Amazon affiliate. Does not affect your costs whatsoever, but it kind of helps pay for things around here a little bit, like keeping the lights on and memory cards for the camera and all that kind of weird stuff. So if you get anything out of this, appreciate getting a thumbs up. Always helps the channel. I'm Roger in the shop. Seesii laser level. Green. Pretty cool. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.